At long last,
Hey all, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts 3. We're starting a little bit fancily this time around. We always had a little bit of an intro cutscene in previous games, especially in like Kingdom Hearts 2 and so on, before Sora and the gang kind of like landed to meddle, even though they were sworn to not meddle, but you know how it be sometimes. But in Kingdom Hearts 3 they specifically have like proper intro cutscenes for the worlds and whatnot, and it struck me like right away, wow, this is so much more cinematic than Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's just the power of like Square Enix and their art department and the like, or the writing and the pacing. I gotta blame someone, so I'm gonna put it on art first and foremost.
Yeah, the presentation has definitely increased, but unfortunately the trade-off with this game is that we do lose access to a lot of, you know, known voice talent. This is no Robert Stack, which is okay. Robert Stack is technically dead. Would be a little weird, but you'll see that as you go on throughout the game. But I do agree, the presentation has been bumped up dramatically in this game, and it does really work to the game's favor, in my opinion.
Look at him, what a flaming little stinker. James Woods is still here, by the way. You know, even if he's a prick on Twitter, you can't keep him from voicing his favourite character. And, you know, fair dues, he is still great at it. We've ignored this for long enough. What do you think about these fucking Instagram posts, mate?
I think these are really weird. I have no idea why they went with this theme for the loading screens. I guess, I mean, Sora is dumb as a bag of rocks. He's got no idea what the hell Instagram is. But it's really weird to use that as loading images. There's not enough of them. I think they should have updated with the, you know, as the game was going and the story. But they don't really do that for some reason. I don't know. I just think it's weird, but it's, you know, harmless at the end.
Well, just to correct you there, it actually does, but at the same time you're right in that they don't do it enough. Great little meta joke back there, because what happens whenever we enter Olympus Coliseum? There's a do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, and it doesn't happen yet. It will kick in at a certain point, but not now, because we're not actually in the Coliseum. We're at the foot of Mount Olympus here. And I have to say, for an opening world, this is probably my favourite in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, because it has so much variety and whatnot.
And thank God that finally, and another great improvement about this game is that everything is new. Even though we went to Olympus, we don't go to the Colosseum technically. It's mostly the area surrounding it, the city surrounding it. There's some actual variety in the worlds for a change. They're not all corridors, they're more open, to the game's detriment. Sometimes we'll get more into that, but there's actually shit to do in these worlds for a change, and I'm glad.
And they're very densely packed as well, I've got to say, because usually when you go out of your way to find something, it's just like kind of like, oh, there might be a chest here, but you could find like lucky emblems, which are like, they're hidden Mickeys essentially that you can find throughout the world. Just give me a sec to set up my shortcut menus and whatnot here, because I will be using fire and water a lot because I am on proud mode and my attack isn't as high as I would like. Look, all this wonderful abilities that I have from the get-go, and yes, you can turn on 0 EXP from the start, should you so wish. I'm not going to do that, because I don't play on level 1, thank you very much.
Yeah, EXP is nice, though. I don't know why you wouldn't want EXP, I guess except for that challenge, which seems to be the only way to do it. Now, I've been hearing various opinions about magic in this game. Apparently it's busted as shit, in that it's really, really good for the cost, and if you cast the same spell, like, multiple times, you actually unlock an even higher version. You know, like how there's Fire, Fyra, Faraga. You can get Faraza as an example, which sounds like a heavy metal band, but it's like a way more powerful version. And you can, if you have a magic build or even a normal build, you can just spam the shit out of magic, and it's really, really effective in this game. I didn't really do that. I probably should have done it more though, personally.
I think if like we're gonna liken it to DMC or whatever, I would say your side or style even is like Swordsmaster, and mine would be like Mage. Sorry, I kind of like cross-pollinated it with fucking Final Fantasy there, but it's a crossover series anyway, so what you gotta do?
I've used Swordmaster sometimes. I actually prefer Trickster the most because, again, I like having a reliable dodge. And again, I will praise Kingdom Hearts 3 for giving me that reliable dodge. In this game as well, they kind of retune all the way you kind of interact with the environment. You remember back in Dream Drop Distance, there was flow motion. You could kind of bounce off walls, you can spin off things like that. Here, they change it up. There's a lot of wall running. You can run on the sides of stuff. You can't really kind of flow motion off of everything now. It's kind of harder to do, but it does give you some advantages that we will see later.
Yeah.
As a whole, It's okay. I mean, I think they could have done more with it, but it does allow you to traverse these bigger environments a lot more easily. And you can, when you get it going, you can have some fun. I just never was really able to get it going to my satisfaction.
Well, with the worlds being expanded as they have, like, the traversal options had to become, like, a lot more freeing, I guess. I will say I am glad they toned down flowmotion, because you might not have even had worlds that big with the amount you could skip them in Dream Drop Distance. It kind of felt a bit counterintuitive, as it were. So you will have access to certain flow motion abilities from the get-go, and they'll upgrade as you go on. So you can like bounce between worlds and worlds. Wow, that really would be powerful flow motion. You can bounce between walls.
Just kickbacks off of a fucking wall and flies into the sky over to Toy Story Land.
Thank you, Helldragon, thank you. And like Helldragon said, you can still spin around stuff, you can still throw enemies, it's pretty great. Look at this fucking thing, no Colosseum! We finally left it, we're going high, baby, high into the sky!
Yeah, too bad Kratos is here, he's gonna ruin everybody's good time.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, if you can make it into Shovel Knight, I don't think Kingdom Hearts is, like, too far removed.
That's true. I mean, Kratos is made into that, Mortal Kombat, Soul Calibur, so...
Alright. I know I dotted my I's, crossed my T's.
Hades in all his beautiful Unreal Engine 4 glory. Look at that shit.
He looks a little strange, mostly because of the fact that, again, because of the limitations of the engine, his face cannot freak out as much as it does in the movie. But it otherwise still looks pretty good.
I will say, out of all the art styles in the game, the one that, I wouldn't say worried me the most, but concerned me the most, that wouldn't really gel with Sora, Donald and Goofy's all that much, ding, take a drink by the way, would be the Hercules one. Because I don't know, they tried to go for a slightly realistic art style while trying to keep it akin to the movie, and again fell into a sort of like cel-shady middle ground. I like it now, it grew on me for sure, but it was the one that I had to work towards liking more than anything else, which I kind of like right away.
There is an advantage to all the other worlds in this game, you know, mostly being comprised of Pixar shit, because that was always done in 3D, so they could work with it to begin with. Hercules, obviously, because it was hand-animated, kind of suffers a little as a result.
Where are my titans?
So yeah, in case it wasn't obvious, we're at the tail end of the Hercules movie right now. It only took about 13 years, but we're finally here.
Yeah, he finally decides, yeah, I think I'm gonna stop fucking around with people with swords. Let's just use actual monsters for a change.
To be fair, he had to wait for the stars to align before the Titans could properly come out of their like holes and whatnot. And oh, interesting fact, you know the Ice Titan you fight in Birth by Sleep? That's a fake. If you read the like the glossary, whatever for it, it says, oh, it's like a phantom, a titan or something.
Really?
Yeah. So don't worry, they didn't retcon the Ice Titan being there before the start of you know, Kingdom Hearts 1. It was a fake.
That's sun I'm sailing.
Wait a minute.
Sailing right
Cogs are turning.
left.
Probably shouldn't have done that. Ah well, who cares? Herc the jerk can't beat me now. Ah, I'm all on Real 4, and lovely and doubly.
Yeah, it'll work this time, unlike the past 3 times where I've attempted to do this. No, 4th time's the charm? I think that's how it goes?
I will say, I love how Sora and Go just immediately dunk on Hades, and like, I'm barely even afraid of him from the get-go, because they've done this shit before. Alright, what yutzes are we dealing with now? Reveal thyselves.
Okay, who's the new pest?
Oh, it's, Captain Ass Zipper, at long last, available in glorious 1080p.
And Mistress Horns herself. Why is Maleficent getting a sequel? I don't know. I don't think Richie is going to be happy, but Richie is not part of these playthroughs currently, so, you know, who cares what he thinks.
Yeah, it's just us bitching here, sorry.
So, toodaloo. Exits that away. Hey, it was great seeing ya. Happy.
How do you feel about the cutscene direction in the game? Because I personally think it's the best it has been in the series. A lot of people seem to think, like, there's a lot of clunkiness to it. And to that I say, go back and watch a Kingdom Hearts 2 cutscene, where there's barely any music, the characters hardly emote. I mean, the fucking slight disappointment meme came from Kingdom Hearts 2 in the first place.
That's true. You know, it is a lot more animated. There's a lot less stiffness going on. There are a few clunky things here and there, but again, I think that's due to the limitations of what they're working with. The engine, especially if they were dealing with previously hand-drawn animated, you know, kind of material to make that work in 3D. But I think, again, no, I agree. I think it's a lot more animated and a lot more, you know, direction this time around. Again, presentation across the board has drastically improved for this game.
I mean, there's usual anime stuff of and like cutting to characters to get their reactions
just
and
weird
whatnot.
Anime sex, or just
no, just weird anime grunts. We've got to keep this PG-13 now to appease Xehanort. And besides that, I would say, yeah, this is definitely my favourite like cutscene direction style in the series because it makes the characters feel like actual characters as opposed to like RPG characters. If that comparison makes any sense. And yet, Tate Donovan is back as Hercules. There's a couple of weird omissions when it comes to characters, but I'll explain why that is when we get there.
Some of these choices really don't make sense to me. Although, I guess it can kind of correlate with the overall design philosophy behind Kingdom Hearts 3, which we'll get into down the line.
Sora, Donald, Goofy.
Drink. He said it. He said the magic words.
Gotta say, I'm impressed.
Yeah, we actually drink. We ain't no fucking half-doing guys here. We set up rules and we follow them through. Thebes is a shithole right now, mostly because Hades is like, you know what, I'm going to push Hercules to his limits, and we'll see if he does have that godly stuff within him. And it's really funny, because in Birth by Sleep, this was a box. It was just a fucking box next to, like, the main Colosseum room.
I remember we were so excited, and then we thought it was going to be expanding out a little bit, and it didn't. It was just that box.
All of it, huh? Nice of him.
But, you know, I've had this strange realization that every game I look at with Thebes in it, it's just, Thebes is completely fucked up. Not just Hercules games, but God of War games as well. I believe it was Thebes in God of War 2, I think, that was getting messed up.
Oh, a Kupo. You could have saved everyone from destruction, but instead you decided to profit off it. Well, such is the merchant's life, I suppose.
The real disappointing thing is that Kupos are really the only Final Fantasy themed anything in this game. And I really don't understand why they've been trying to downplay it. Again, you know, there's so much that's being taken up by the organization and Xehanort, things like that. But having the Final Fantasy characters around was a fun little bonus for that. There were some cool Final Fantasy related moments in Kingdom Hearts 2. There is no Sephiroth secret boss in this game. I don't know why, because the second one obviously had a lot of great stuff going for it. Maybe the voice acting was a little wooden, but the fact they don't have that in the third official game just doesn't match. I mean, why would you skip on that?
I sort of agree. I do kind of wish there was a Sephiroth super boss here. There's a super boss in the game, but apparently people don't really care for that. I'm not sure I'm going to show it off, honestly. It's not really worth my time. The official reason, as far as I can recall, for why there are no Final Fantasy characters in the game is because there were already too many in the game, and Nomura was worried about things being overcrowded. To that I say, it's the final game in the series. You can be forgiven for splurging on stuff like that, you know?
Whoa. Cloud Tifa, too much. 13 Xehanorts, come right in. Really?
Yeah, I don't get that at all, but, you know, it's Nomura's series at the end of the day, so really I'm just the entitled twat sitting here whining about stuff that didn't make it. What I'm most pissed about is the fact that they didn't use goddamn King of Thieves in here, and now everything's thrown off. Kingdom Hearts 1 has Aladdin 1, Kingdom Hearts 2 has Aladdin 2, but Kingdom Hearts 4 will have Aladdin 3? That doesn't make sense!
Yeah, well, they should have covered a lot when it comes to Disney, but they didn't quite get around to that, did they, Tom?
No, they didn't. Alright, we got some new, quote-unquote, Heartless to fight. Truth be told, I believe these guys first showed up in 0.2. I forget what they're called. I think they might be bombs. Let's just say water works great against these guys.
Man, they have introduced so many Heartless throughout the series. I cannot keep track of them all, so your guess is as good as mine. And here they're talking about flowmotion, which, again, they nerfed a lot. You can't really roll into these. You have to kind of jump and then air slide into them to activate them. I think it's a little clunky. Another good reason they kind of dialed back on that is because in Dream Drop Distance, you know, flowmotion had a ton of invincibility frames, and you could just cheese the hell out of it. So it makes sense they dialed that back. But in response, There's only one flow motion move that we'll see later that I personally used in this game. Everything else just bagged at. I actually turned those abilities off because I needed the AP.
Fair dues, mate. And if you look to the right there, you'll notice we no longer have to choose between, say, Goofy or having the world's Disney character in there. Thanks to progression in terms of technology, we can have 4 characters on the field at one time with a butt ton of Heartless as well.
Yeah, and up to 5, depending on the world you're in. So that's a really good change. I like how everybody's together now.
You're okay.
Meg!
So Pegasus's voice, Meg is voiced once again by Susan Egan, she of Rose Quartz fame, also Pink Diamond. And the one notable absence is Phil's voice actor. He's not voiced by Robert Constanzo, or whatever the fuck his Danny DeVito stand-in was called, and this is because his Japanese VA passed away, and I don't know whether this is just a Japanese thing, but for reasons of respect, they just kept him mute.
I will.
I don't know if I agree with that. Like, we've had people in Japanese voice acting things died before. The original Japanese voice actress for Bulma passed away, not too long ago, actually. So they replaced her with Sailor Mercury, I believe, for that. So, I mean, you know what? It's fine. I think it's dumb that he doesn't talk at all when this is Phil we're talking about here.
Yeah, very boisterous, very in your face, he can't count, the poor guy has dyscalculia. That would be a really neat plot line or subplot to get into, but for reasons of not wanting to be a little bitch, I'll just say that's a weird design choice that I at least understand.
Here's another interesting design choice that we're actually going to see as the game goes on. This game has, I swear to God, actual NPCs. He just died over there, I think. But
I'm sorry, I couldn't take it. Like, having 4 characters on the field at once was enough, but this, oh my god, this is just, there are actual living characters in these worlds.
Yeah, now, obviously you're not going to meet a lot here because the city's being evacuated, but there are areas later on that are lived in. There are a variety of people. They're all voice acted. Again, you hear like the same 4 or 5 lines, but fuck it, there's people there for a change. Thank God we don't have those days anymore where they're looking over the Olympus Coliseum crowd to cheering nothingness.
That's good.
This is why I come here. The action, the people.
Alright.
That was from Agrabah, but the point still stands. Hercules, you can't solve everything with strength and violence. Watch me, fuckers!
This'll go well.
Here's my magic rocket! Okay, let's just say they landed carefully and safely, alright?
Sora and company fall off of a lot of shit in this game. Later on, they fall off the mountain 4 times, I think.
Did they forget when animating that little girl that they're not in Japan? And I don't think ancient Greeks did the Japanese bow of, thank you-ness every time.
I don't know, I would assume they were polite.
Well, I'm just nitpicking. Don't expect Peter and Maleficent to have a big role in the game, by the way. Their goal is to find the black box, which, again, is a thing from Kingdom Hearts back cover, so if you haven't watched that, SpaghettiOs, you have some catching up and homework to check out. And yeah, Sora has once again gone down to level 1, because as I say, you're not dicking about with him in Dream Drop Distance.
And I like Pete talking shit when I've beaten him, what was it, 3 times?
Yeah.
In the last game, 2, 3? I don't fucking know. All I know is that he's easy as pie, easy as Pete, even.
We got to find that black box.
Be silent, you fool!
Oh no, I gave a plot point away.
As for you
Now, you would think
that,
them being in the Olympus Coliseum, they must mean Pandora's box. Nope, completely separate box, as he mentioned, this back cover thing. I assume it's got CDs in it, which is our greatest treasure, let's be honest, full of sticks and prints and the police.
Yeah, I like how you start with sticks, by the way, because we're in Greece.
It's fine.
Oh, well, I mean, I actually really like Styx the band. It's one of my favorite bands.
Did they do anything other than Mr. Roboto?
Oh, fuck yes. They've done Come Sail Away, Grand Illusion, Crystal Ball, Miss America. Oh, they have a ton of great songs, actually.
Huh. Fair dues, mate. Fair dues.
Don't say that!
Don't encourage me. I'm a big boy. I haven't even got my cage-free clothes yet, but I'm wearing my big boy pants from 2.
Another thing you'll notice is that Donald and Sora bitch at each other constantly in this game.
Oh, it's Hercules! It's okay. Hercules not real. He can't hurt me.
Yeah, there are actually a bunch of those kind of around the area. I thought you could collect them, but I guess not, which is lame, because I would have loved to actually collect these things.
Well, should you go back to the worlds after you've beaten them, there are additional things you can partake in. And one of the things in Olympus is you can find golden Hercules dotted around the level, and you'll get something for your trouble.
Really? You know, I didn't bother to go back because I was done with that shit since Kingdom Hearts 2, but it's nice to have that, actually.
So how did you balance using magic and using melee combat, May? Because as you'll see here, water actually gives you a little shield as you're doing stuff. I'm not entirely sure if it has any, like, status benefits beyond, you know, hurting fire guys a little bit more, I guess. But, yeah, how was your playstyle for the majority of your time in KH3?
It's gonna be, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of similar to how I played in Kingdom Hearts 2. I did not use a ton of magic, I used Cure. I tried Arrow a little bit, but that's more of a juggle spell than a shield. Reflect isn't in this game, which is probably for the best. A lot of it was just pure melee combat and healing. Although, if I do return to this game, I'm definitely going to give magic its due, because there's actually a great Keyblade you get later that's magic focused, but it lets you make, like, stands when you're fighting. You know,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about those in a minute, but no, that one's actually pretty good, and probably what I would recommend for magic use.
Goofy coming in on his shield, which is actually very apt considering what we're about to see here. Like, I'll save you, Sora. Goofy is done.
Oh, fire indeed hot.
Ah, the Donald will help.
Let's complain at it.
Let's see. My shield does not get hot when I put it near fire. In fact, it repels the fire, which must mean it's imbued with magic, because that don't make a lick of sense.
That's basically how magic fire works in Kingdom Hearts, I guess.
Alright guys, see you next time for more of this.